Excellent. Everyone's waking up. Good
Good morning.
morning. How you doing?
Good. Actually, I already had my BNI meeting.
You did?
Yeah,
What time did it start?
7:15.
Once a week?
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you
Yeah.
get a lot of business from that?
I just started. I'm probably maybe two and a half months into it. So there is talk of a referral coming my way from the lender,
Good.
but haven't seen it yet. But I just hooked up the attorney in the group with a buyer client who just got an offer accepted.
Oh, that's awesome. I know Rick's been in one for a while, and this week he actually had a CMA this week, and then we got a referral yesterday. So it's the first time it's taken like, I'd say it's been a year. It's been
Yeah.
more than a year because it was
It's like
started.
any referral group, they need to get to know you and they need to develop trust.
Yeah. Yeah, and his was a brand new group too. Is yours new, like a new kind of group?
No, they've been around for a while. Can't remember who the realtor was before me, but she was out of the Easton office.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, good. Hey, every time we can get in front of people, and especially right now, when we're not getting together, I think is awesome.
mhm.
Teresa, I see you're there. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks, but I'm hiding because my hair's soaking wet.
Oh, don't worry.
Got to get my
So-
dog to the groomers at 10, so I'm just kind of running around.
Well, don't forget, Rick has a lead gen class after this, and I think that's,
I
really.
know, I saw that, and it's going to be right when I'm driving, so I hope I get
Just
some of it.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you could put some of it on that you can, I don't know, you can look at. Trying to just see if we can, sometimes my screen share is just really not good. So tell me, guys, what are you having a trouble with, or what is it?
Where do I begin?
Spill it out, Teresa.
One question I started asking you, Bill, yesterday was about a home that's supposed to hit the market today, and it was on Redfin. So I checked in this morning. It still isn't on MLS, and I went to the Redfin website, and it says it's going to be listed later. But on the website, it says to make appointments. When I called the agent, she said no showings until Saturday. So will something actually be listed in the afternoon on MLS? Or I thought they all came out in the morning. Is that wrong?
They come out whenever
When?
somebody pushes the button.
Okay. So, I mean, I have somebody who really is interested in the house, and I mean, she's saying we have to wait till Saturday, but that's not what it says on her website. So do I just wait and see what happens on MLS?
Yeah, not much more you can do, right, Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of hold the cards as to when you can get in.
Mm.
But I always suggest, have your client go over there, drive around. You don't want them to waste too much of your time. Drive
Yeah.
around, check out the area, do the diligence on that part while
Yeah,
they
bless
can.
you.
They have plenty of time to do that, so they don't drive up and meet you there and go, I really don't like this area.
Right.
Well, her brother lives 2 doors down, so she's
Oh.
familiar with it, and they've been walking around, and they, so she's like all excited about it.
Does her brother know them?
He's been strolling by hoping he'd see somebody and he could sort of say something, but it's not the kind of weather that you're really out doing too much walking, but he is hoping that he sees them because he can
Yeah.
see their house from his. So I'm hoping something happens, but.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very specific situation where your buyer knows exactly what the neighborhood and the actual home, and they're just, waiting on the seller and the realtor to allow access.
Yeah. And I mean, it is a 2-bedroom, and I don't know, like I was saying to you yesterday, Bill, first I thought, okay, that's good because most people don't want it. But I think now people who want condos that are going into houses might be looking at that. I don't know.
Yeah. I got a situation, and Tracy, you've heard me talk about this one, my 850 pre-approval buyer.
Mhm.
Pre-approved up to 850, and we've lost out on bids. And after the fact, we found out that they, only got $5,000 higher than what we offered. And, it's been very frustrating. But two of the properties were a Remax agent, this guy, Gil Campos. And he knows the sincerity of my client at this point, since we've offered on a couple of his properties. And he called me the other day. Actually, he called me a month ago, and just to talk. And then he called me yesterday just to give me a heads up, and he even gave me the names of the two streets that he's got two listings coming up on shortly. So he just wanted me to know that they'll be coming on the market in a week. So that I forwarded that info on to my buyer, just so that she could do a little drive around those neighborhoods, just to make, I'm pretty sure that they're the neighborhoods that she's looking for. But
What town?
Foxborough.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, short of, asking him the actual address, which I don't think he'd be comfortable giving out just yet. I just felt that although we lost a couple of bids to his listings, I felt I lost gracefully. And, we
Yeah.
talked afterwards, and, I called up and say, hey, are those deals staying together? And he says, yeah, but he says, I guess I owe you one at this point. I go, yeah, you kind of do. Jokingly. So,
I had a buyer script that I didn't get in there. So, like when they, okay, let's see. Trying to say to people, you try to get them to go up a little bit more. So let's say they give them a few minutes to talk it over, and then you say, Mr. Buyer, I have a couple of calls to return. Why don't I do this? Give you a minute to talk. I'll come back and answer questions before you go. So this is like, you're talking about maybe making an offer.
Yep.
Be assumptive and positive when you come back in. Just like with the listing. Now that you've had a few minutes to think about it, let's do the right thing. Oh, this is to sign the contract. But then what's the most you're willing to pay to be sure another buyer doesn't get your home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, $850. If we offer that price and get a counter offer, will you go higher to avoid losing it? How much higher will you go? Should we just offer that now and put our best foot forward? Then if you lose it, you'll know you did all you could do. It sounds like your client did that, but.
No, you know what? She was approved up to 850. I got it through Jason Gravel, and we were kind of like right down on the wire, and I was on the phone with the realtor, this guy Gil, and I said, what are we looking good on this? He goes, well, we got this one other, and you guys are like neck and neck. And I'm like, okay. So I went to Jason. I said, does she have any wiggle room at all? And he says, yeah, she could probably go up as high as 860, maybe 865. I'm like, okay. So then I called my client and told her about my conversation with Gil and then with Jason. She says, nope, I'm not offering a dime above 850. I go, okay. So if this other offer is awarded the bid and they get it for 865, is that gonna upset you? Which is, nope, 850 is my highest number. Like, okay, well, a month later, we were talking again about it, and she says, I wish it's almost like we'd ever had that conversation, and she's like, I wish I had gone up to 860. I'm like, well, you had the opportunity. We talked about that, and you were adamant that you weren't going to go above 850. So.
Yeah, so it's like, if we offer that price and we get a counter offer, will you go higher to avoid losing it? How much higher will you go?
Yeah.
We just offer that now and put our best foot forward. Then if you lose it, you'll know you did all you could do. I mean, it's really hard for people to understand that, sometimes to get them, they already feel like they're overpaying in this market.
Well, I almost feel like we need to shift the conversation from the purchase price to the monthly mortgage payment.
I do that all the time.
So like in her case, what was the difference between 850 and 860 on a monthly payment? Was it a cup of coffee? Like $5 or something?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's so true. I always tell everybody, think about what you can comfortably spend per month. Don't think about the big number. Big number doesn't matter as much as what you can spend every month. Is this going to
Yeah.
work for you? You're going to feel comfortable? So I always try to have that conversation with them. And sometimes, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
It's kind of what happened to my Cape offer. They offered 50,000 over and didn't get it. And I asked them same thing, questions that you just said. And they're like, no way, we're not going to spend 650 on a 3-bedroom down, for a cottage down the Cape. And they lost it, and there's nothing else that has come on, really.
Here's another one. Well, maybe if I wait, there will be more for sale. So we hear buyers saying that too. Well, that's possible. And yet we really don't know for sure there will be other properties that you like as much as this one, do we? It would be a shame to lose only to find nothing better came along, wouldn't it? Also, I'm sure you've thought of this. With low inventory and homes selling so quickly, any future properties will most likely be much more expensive, won't they? Let's do the right thing and start the negotiations today.
Mm-hmm.
Because who knows if inventory is going to pick up? We have no idea.
Right.
So like we sat with some sellers last night trying to get them to, they want to buy, and we just said, that's fine. And then at the same time, they're talking out both sides of their mouth, but we don't want to overpay when we purchase. Like, well, do you want to rent for a little bit, liquidate your asset, get out while the price point's high and wait? So we convinced them to possibly do that. So we gave them somewhere that we know is a tenant at will. They've got 2 cats and 2 kids, but we know that this place takes both of that, all of that. So I think we'll find out by next week whether we go on the market or not, but people don't want to move twice. But if we can convince them that liquidate your asset and then you become a great buyer, it might work.
Mm.
I need some good comebacks, and I think I've asked you both for these, and you've given me some. So my brother wants to sell his house, and his wife, was out walking the dog or something and mentioned it to a few neighbors, and he's got lots of calls right now. So he has 3 people who are coming over the weekend to see it. And he says, if they don't work out, then I'll go with you. But I keep saying I don't know what to say to him. I keep saying, well, how much money do you want to pocket? Of course, he wants to pocket as much as possible. And they, picked a random number out of the sky, what they're asking.
Do you think it's very overpriced?
It's hard to know in this market. I don't know. I don't think very, but somewhat. I mean, I don't know that he thinks he'll get that much, but you don't know. And I guess that's what he's listening to, everybody saying. I mean, it's Braintree.
Mm-hmm.
It's
There's one on the market in Braintree on Middle and Union. It's way overpriced. They've got no offers, and that guy, I keep calling him. He's like, we're so busy. We have appointments every day. And I'm like, any offers? No.
yeah.
Okay. Everyone's interested. Any offers? No. So
It was so weird because I even started getting phone calls after it said people asking me if my brother's house was on the market, and I'm like,
oh my
no.
gosh.
Like, so it just like sort of spread.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, you can bring a buyer and say, hey, you know what? I'll do it for you, but I gotta get paid. Bring him through for you.
well, he also said he had a couple of calls from agents saying, I have a buyer, and he's said to them he's waiting to see what happens with these people coming over with no realtors involved. So we'll see.
Well, and you can also sign an agreement with those people that if any of those people buy it, you don't, he can just go with them. You can actually have an exclusion.
Hey, Lisa, have you lost any listing appointments to other realtors lately?
Not that I know of lately.
Okay. I had a listing appointment that was a client of mine that I helped buy a property in Norwell. They referred his son and daughter-in-law to me. I'm pretty sure, I look back when they bought the home like 6 years ago, they went through Rick Coughlin as a buyer agent. So they mentioned they were going to be talking at least a couple other realtors, and but geez, they said you came very highly recommended from my parents, and we really wanted to meet with you and all that. And I thought that the listing appointment went fine. They needed about a month to do some painting and cleaning up and all that before even listing. But yeah, right now it's like radio silence. So that tells me I didn't get the listing.
Well, we did have one, actually, I should say, that went with someone else. I never met them. We actually never really got a chance. We had a phone call, we dropped information off, and they really ended up listing with someone else, which we didn't even really get a chance. And the one yesterday, I couldn't convince them to actually sign the contract because they waiting to see how much they can afford to purchase, and their mortgage broker was not available. So I didn't get it signed. Marcia was like, "Oh, we totally got this." I'm like, I never say that.
No,
I have left more appointments thinking this is totally it's mine, and it's not. It's so depressing. I'm like,
well, I know we have scripts that, let's do the right thing, let's sign the contract, and I'll call those other realtors and tell them you listed with me, and I'll give them first shot at bringing a buyer, and I'll pay them 2.5% if we accept their offer, blah, blah, blah. I just, it wasn't in my mind or my comfort zone in the moment because of how I was referred to them. To press to sign the paper. Although I had it right there in my folder, ready to go. I just didn't feel comfortable taking it to that next step.
So sometimes they outscript us. I mean, that is just totally what happens. They outscript us. I left last night thinking, they were so nice, they were awesome, and maybe they may not even sell. Who knows? They did have another realtor the night before. They told us that ahead of time.
Yeah.
They came to an open house we had. And that's how, they want to purchase, and we found, we know where they want to go. So, we understand their needs. I gave them a lot of information, but not too much. And I did say, do you feel comfortable about us handling the sale for you? I love that, handle the sale thing. They're like, yes, we just need to figure out, we know what our proceeds are. If we sell the house, we know how much we've saved. We just don't know what we can purchase. So we really want to figure that out, and we should have that by next week.
Yeah.
Well, we can start working for you the minute we sign this contract. But I don't want to start working for them, even calling. I said, we can call neighborhoods and find a house for you where you like, but I sent them an email when I got back home and said, when you decide to list with us, we'll put a plan in place and get to work. So.
Yeah. But do you think it's kind of odd of the seller actually reaching out to me through email saying, hey, my in-laws spoke very highly of you, want to know if you could come talk to us about our home and getting it sold and all that, and then them not answering the phone, or not taking my calls, not responding to email at this point after the appointment. To me, that seems a little weird.
It is weird. It's like, are they going to go with someone else? You don't know yet if they're going to go with anyone else.
I don't know either way, but it's like, you'd think that they would at least respond in some way, just to be, courteous.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so weird. It's a weird world, Wayne's World.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I mean, they have such a pick of realtors, right? People can pick any realtor, and I know that feeling of going in with a referral and feeling kind of like you got it. And, I was up against Dakota, and when I was referred to these people by their son, and Dakota, she beat me out, she got it. And she got the buy side too. They were buying where she lives. So I think she convinced them, well, if you go with me, I can get you on the buy side too. And I was like, damn, maybe I didn't push hard enough, or I didn't show my value. Something happened, but I was super bummed.
Yeah,
And maybe, maybe in the back of our minds, we're feeling like we've got this because it's a referral. It's almost like working with a friend or family member. You have to pull out the stops even more. That's what I feel like. If you have a family member or a friend, you can't get lazy on it. You want to like almost do even more because they're going to be an advocate for you later.
right. Yep, I agree. So with all this continued low inventory happening, I don't know if you've been doing what I've been doing, but I've got a lot of buyers, and so I've been making calls on their behalf to try to hit up some expired listings to see if they're still open to selling. Even if, there's specific neighborhoods that I know that my buyer's interested in, I'll even do calling around those areas and trying to connect with homeowners to see if the script is, do you know somebody that's thinking of selling here in the neighborhood sometime soon? Have you been working any of those types of scripts?
Absolutely. I actually did multiple streets that my clients liked, and I door knocked and I called. And then one came on the market, and so I got my client in before the open house. And I spoke with the agent who ended up being the daughter-in-law, and I got a chance to talk to them. We got our offer accepted. I said, let me ask you, did you get my note in your mailbox? Is that what caused you to sell? And they said, well, we started to think about it then, and we had a few things to do because it was probably like 3 weeks. But we thought it was a good time to sell. So they did put their home on the market, a little pushed by probably the door knock and, getting something in their mail. So I felt really good about that because it's the exact same house, the street, everything, and we're under contract right now. And we got it accepted before the open house. So that's been great. I went over, and she lives in New Hampshire, so we're handling basically both sides.
Yeah.
The sale, but I feel like it works. It doesn't work every time, but what the heck? If we
It can be effective.
Yeah, and you're genuine. So now I went back and I started to call everybody to say, our client, the efforts of calling your neighborhood have worked, and our client will be a new neighbor to you soon. Is there anybody else who's thinking of selling? Because we do have more buyers. And they're like, oh, it worked. So like, here's like, I need to put these through for buyers too. I want a great deal, right? Oh, you want a great deal? Can you tell me what to you is a great deal? Is the priority to get something that is just a low price, or are you more interested in finding the home that best suits your needs? If the home is exactly what you want, what is the most you would be willing to pay for it? Do you know what's happening in the market today? Most properties are being sold over the asking price with multiple bids. If we write low offers, you'll lose the property you love. Let's do the right thing and write the offer at a price that will cause the home to sell. And I want to see more homes. Oh, do you want to see more homes because you didn't like this one, or because you just want to be certain? When you think this through, I know you'll realize that this home has everything you have been looking for, and it's in the price range you can afford. I have nothing left to show you. It's a great home. Let's buy it. Or why don't we do this? Let's start the negotiations, and then when we get the seller's response, you'll have something concrete to think about. So this is kind of, I think it's a pretty good script for buyers. I don't know, it's Excellum Coaching and Consulting. I found that, so I'll put that up. It has the red line, tells you what you should say. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that'd be good if you posted that up. What advice do you have about maybe some apprehension about even making calls?
I would say you could look on the script. I have a lot of motivational videos on the Facebook page, and that's what I do every morning. I listen to something,
right,
almost without fail, every single morning, and it pumps me up. There's one that's like, No Motivation by Tom Ferry, and then he basically gives you. I know you're going to be okay. So, you know, I'd say watching one of those or listening to something like that kind of gets you pumped up.
Mhm.
That's for me. So I know I have to end my Zoom. I just got a note, end your Zoom call.
Well, thank you
Who's
both.
it signed by?
Oh, he didn't even sign it, but it's Rick.
Oh.
He's got the next class, right?
He got the next class. He's like,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
So I know it wasn't a whole lot of scripts. I'll send these, put these up there, but I don't know, we got to take action, right? Do you
That's
feel
right.
apprehension about calling? Those first 5 or 10 calls are terrible, but then you get on a roll.
Yeah, I think a lot of the fear and uncertainty we create in our minds.
Absolutely.
You know, I've actually told people, you know, if I make 100 calls and I think I'm going to get screamed at by every single person that answers, what ends up happening is out of the 100, I probably have one person that it's just a bad call and they just didn't appreciate me calling. But the rest, they're all normal conversations.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. All right. Well, I
All
guess
right,
Thank you,
thanks,
guys.
we can
Lisa.
see what happens when he does his right now.
Yeah, okay.
Have an awesome day,
Thank you.
guys. Thank
You
you for
too.
coming.
Bye.
Bye.